Last night, I almost didn't talk to him. I sat on the edge of the bed just like every night. The lamp was on, the room was quiet, but something felt different. My chest felt heavy, like the air had learned a new way to hurt me. I looked at his photograph, and for the first time in 20 years, I didn't know what to say. Silence sat beside me, braver than I was. I wondered, is this how it ends? Not with death, but with forgetting how to speak. I closed my eyes and listened to the house. The clock ticked, the walls waited. I whispered his name. Nothing answered. I was afraid, not of being alone. I've learned that fear too well. I was afraid that one day I would stop missing him. People think grief fades. It doesn't. It just changes its clothes. In the beginning, grief was loud. People brought food, they touched my hands, they said his name out loud. Now grief is quiet. It sits politely. It waits its turn. Sometimes I think it's waiting for me to forget why I ever spoke to him at all. Last night, as I sat there unable to speak, I realized something. Talking to him was never about habit. It was about survival. As long as I speak, I exist. As long as I remember his voice, mine doesn't fade. I leaned closer to his photograph. My voice shook. I almost didn't come tonight, I told him. I was tired. Tired of missing, tired of remembering, tired of waking up alone. I waited. The room stayed silent. Then I felt it. Not a sound, not a sign, just a warmth, the kind you feel when someone is listening without interrupting. So I talked. I told him about the pain in my back, about the way mornings hurt more now, about how people talk slower to me, as if I might break. I told him I was afraid that one night I would sit here and feel nothing. Because nothing is scarier than grief. It's really over. When I finished speaking, I stayed there longer than usual, and for the first time in many nights, I didn't ask him to answer. I just thanked him for letting me speak, because as long as I can talk to him, I haven't disappeared yet. Some memories don't wait to be invited. They arrive when you're weakest and sit down like they own the place. After I finished talking to him that night, I stayed awake longer than usual. Not because I had more to say, but because something inside me was asking for permission to remember. There was a promise I almost broke. I don't like thinking about it, But silence has a way of pulling secrets out of you. It happened years before he got sick, before hospitals, before machines, before I learned how fragile a voice can be. I was tired back then, not the kind of tired sleep fixes, the kind that settles in your bones and tells you nothing will ever be light again. The children were growing. They needed more. The house needed more. Life kept asking and I kept giving. One evening, I stood in the kitchen holding a plate that had gone cold. He was late again. I stared at the door and felt something dangerous rise in me. Not anger, distance. When he finally came home, he smiled, the kind of smile men use to hide how close they are to breaking. He said my name. I didn't answer. He washed his hands. He sat down. He waited. Still, I said nothing. He looked at me carefully, as if I might shatter if he chose the wrong word. Then he asked, "Did I do something wrong?" That question hurt more than any argument ever could, because I didn't know how to explain that I felt invisible while standing right in front of him. I wanted him to fight for me. Instead, I stayed quiet. That night, we slept side by side like strangers borrowing the same bed. I remember staring at the ceiling and thinking something terrible. Maybe it would be easier to stop trying, to let love become routine, to let silence do the talking. The next morning, he made tea. He always made tea when something felt broken. He placed the cup in front of me and said very softly, "I don't need you to be strong. I just need you to stay." Those words stopped me, not because they were dramatic, but because they were tired. That's when I understood. Love doesn't leave loudly. It waits quietly to see if you notice. I picked up the cup. My hands were shaking. "I'm still here," I said, and I meant it. That became our promise, not to be perfect, not to be happy all the time, just to stay. That promise followed us everywhere, through arguments, through laughter, through the slow wearing down of our bodies. And now, years later, sitting alone in this room, I wonder, am I still keeping it? Some nights, talking feels heavy. Some nights, memory feels cruel. Some nights, I won't rest more than remembrance. But then I remembered his face that morning in the kitchen, the way relief looks when it finally breathes. So I talk, even when my voice trembles, even when words come out wrong, because staying was never about sound, it was about presence. And as long as I sit here, speaking into the quiet, I am still keeping my promise. He stayed with me. Now it's my turn. There is a kind of guilt that doesn't come from doing something wrong. It comes from still being here when someone else isn't. I feel it most in the mornings, when I wake up and my body reminds me that it's still trying. My knees complain before I even stand. My hands take longer to listen to me. The mirror shows me a woman I don't quite recognize. Some days I look at my reflection and think, why am I still here when he is not? He was stronger than me, kinder than me, more patient. He should have been the one to grow old, not me. That thought makes me ashamed, because being alive shouldn't feel like stealing, but it does, especially when the children visit. They watch me carefully, like I'm a glass they're afraid to drop. They ask the same questions every time. Did you eat? Did you take your medicine? Are you sleeping enough? They mean well, but sometimes their concern feels like a quiet goodbye they're practicing in advance. I see it in their eyes, the fear that one day I'll be too much, too slow, too forgetful, too heavy to carry. I don't blame them. I've seen how life works. It moves forward whether you're ready or not. Noon, my daughter said something she didn't mean to hurt me with. She was standing near the door, keys already in her hand. She said, "Mom, have you thought about what we'll do if you can't manage on your own anymore?" She said it gently, but it landed loudly. I smiled. Of course I did. I told her not to worry. I told her I was fine. After she left, I sat in the same chair for a long time, not crying, just listening to how quiet the house becomes when someone chooses not to stay. That night, when I talked to him, my voice was different. It was smaller. "I don't want to be a burden," I told him. "I don't want to take up space I haven't earned." The words surprised me, because when did love start needing permission? I remembered something then. Years ago, when his health had just begun to fail, he struggled to tie his shoes one morning. He sat there frustrated, his hand shaking. I knelt in front of him without saying a word and tied them for him. He looked embarrassed. He said, "I hate needing help. Whole life, let me hold you now." He never forgot that. Even in the hospital, when he was weak, he would whisper, "I'm sorry I'm heavy." Heavy, as if love has weight limits. Thinking about that now, I feel something loosen in my chest. If I never thought of him as a burden, why am I so afraid of becoming one? That night, I spoke louder. "I'm still here," I told him, "not because I'm strong, but because I'm allowed to be." The room didn't change, the silence didn't break, but something inside me shifted. Aging isn't failure, needing help isn't weakness, and staying alive is not a crime. I sat there longer than usual, hands resting in my lap, breathing slowly. "I miss you," I said. Not with desperation, just honesty. And for the first time in a long while, the guilt loosened its grip. Because love was never about leaving early. It was about staying as long as you can. Lately, my memory has been playing tricks on me. Small things at first.
where I left my glasses, why I walked into a room, what day it is. Everyone says it's normal. That happens with age. They say it kindly, as if kindness can soften fear. But I know the difference between forgetfulness and warning. Some mornings I wake up and for a brief moment I don't remember why the bed is empty. That moment doesn't last long. Reality rushes in, sharp and familiar. But that second, that tiny pause terrifies me. Because what if one day that pause grows longer? What if one morning I wake up and I don't remember him at all? That thought sits with me like a shadow. I test myself sometimes. I close my eyes and list the things I know. His name, the way he cleared his throat before speaking, touched the doorframe when leaving the house. I remember how he smelled after coming home from work. Soap, dust, something warm I never learned to name. I remember his laugh, not loud, just sudden, like it surprised even him. I hold on to these details like they're fragile glass, because memories don't disappear all at once. They slip quietly. One afternoon, I forgot his birthday. Not the day, just the meaning of it. I looked at the calendar and felt nothing. No tightening in my chest, no ache. That scared me more than forgetting the date ever could. And waited for the feeling to return. It did. Slowly, like a late guest. That night I spoke to him with urgency. "If I ever forget you," I said, "please forgive me." The words felt wrong, as if forgetting were a choice. I told him my fear, that one day my mouth would move but his name wouldn't come out. That I would sit here night after night speaking to no one. The room stayed still. But then I remembered something he once said to me. It was after his mother died. I was afraid I'd forget her face. He held my hands and said, "You don't lose people when you forget details. You lose them when you stop caring." That memory steadied me. Maybe love isn't stored in the mind alone. Maybe it lives in the body, in habits, in reactions, in the way my hand still reaches for the other side of the bed, in the way my voice softens when I speak his name. Even if my memory fades, love might still remember. That thought comforts me. So now when I forget something small, I don't panic. I sit still, I breathe, and then I talk. Because as long as my heart knows who I'm speaking to, it doesn't matter if my mind stumbles. I might forget the date, I might forget the hour, but I don't think I will ever forget how it feels to love him. My body has started having conversations I didn't agree to. A pain here, a weakness there. Doctors use calm voices when they say things like, "We'll keep an eye on it." I've learned that means nothing is certain anymore. Use calm voices when they say things like, "We'll keep an eye on it." I've learned that means nothing is certain anymore. Hospitals scare me now, not because of needles or white walls, because I've already said goodbye in places like that. The smell alone can pull me back to holding his hand, counting breaths, pretending not to notice how quiet he was becoming. So when the doctor suggested more tests, more visits, more waiting rooms, I nodded politely, and inside I panicked. That night I talked to him about it. I don't want to go back there, I said. I don't want strangers watching me disappear the way they watched you. I told him something else, too, something I've never said out loud. I'm not afraid of pain, I whispered. I'm afraid of leaving things unfinished. Because there are things no one knows about me, where I keep certain letters, which photo I love the most, which song I want played when no one knows what to do next. I've started preparing quietly, not because I'm giving up, because I love order. I labeled boxes, I folded clothes slowly, I wrote names on envelopes no one will open until I'm no longer here. It felt strange at first, like I was erasing myself while still breathing, but there was also peace in it, control. I told him about the box under the bed, the one with our photographs, the one where I keep the small things, a button from his coat, a receipt from our first trip, a note he once left on the table that just said, "Back soon." I don't want them thrown away, I told him. I don't want our life to become clutter. The room felt close then, as if listening required effort. I promise, I said, I'll leave this place gently. That's when it hit me. Preparing to leave doesn't mean you want to go. It means you've loved enough to care what happens after. I sat back in the chair and laughed softly. You always like things tidy, I told him. Even now, you're probably judging me. That made me smile, because smiling still feels like rebellion against fear, against endings. Later that night, I lay down and placed my hand on the empty side of the bed. My breathing slowed. I don't know when, I said, but I'm trying not to be afraid. And for the first time, thinking about my own ending didn't feel like a wall. It felt like a door I didn't have to open yet, because I'm still here, still speaking, still remembering. And as long as I can sit up at night and talk to him, I'm not finished.
Lately, he's been visiting me in my dreams. Not every night. Just enough to make waking up harder. In the dreams, he isn't sick, he isn't tired. He looks the way he did before time started asking things from us. Sometimes we don't talk. We just sit side by side like we used to. And when I wake up, my heart feels confused, because for a moment it believes he's still here. People say dreams are just memory rearranging itself. I don't argue, but I also don't rush to explain them away. Some things don't need meaning to matter. One morning I woke up and spoke to him out loud before I opened my eyes. I said, "You left early." Then I realized where I was, the room, the quiet, the absence.
It felt like losing him all over again. That day I didn't speak much, not to the neighbors, not on the phone. I saved my voice for the night. When I finally sat up, I asked him something I'd been afraid to ask. "Do you hear me?" I said. "Or am I just talking so I don't feel alone?" The question hung there. I didn't expect an answer, but I also didn't move on. I waited, and while nothing spoke back, something settled in me. The same feeling I used to have when he listened quietly, letting me finish even when my thoughts were tangled. That's when I understood. Maybe presence isn't about sound. Maybe it's about space. The space someone leaves behind that never quite closes. I started telling him about my dreams, how sometimes he smiles and sometimes he looks serious, how sometimes he says nothing at all. I told him I was afraid of imagining things, afraid people would be right, that maybe I was slipping. He used to tell me, "Your mind is softer than the world. That's not weakness." I hold on to that, because if imagining his presence keeps me gentle, I don't want to be cured. There's a thin line between memory and comfort. I walk it carefully. I don't pretend he's alive. I know where he is. But I also know love doesn't follow rules. It doesn't stop visiting just because it's told to. That night, before lying down, I said something new. "I won't be afraid if you come back only in dreams, because even a dream is a kind of conversation." When I finally slept, I dreamed again. We were older, slower, but still together. And when I woke up, I wasn't angry at morning. I wasn't disappointed. I felt grateful. Because even if my days are empty, my nights still remember how to hold him. Lately, I've been thinking about what will remain of me. Not in a grand way. I'm not a woman whose name will be written down. No statues, no long speeches. Just small things. A scarf left behind, a chipped mug, a habit someone forgets they learned from me. I wonder if that's enough. When people speak about a life, they usually count what was achieved: work, success, milestones. But my life was mostly made of staying through hard years, staying when love wasn't exciting, staying when leaving would have been easier. I told him this one night. I'm afraid I'll be remembered as someone who didn't do much. The words tasted bitter. He used to laugh at that. He once told me, "You did the hardest thing. You stayed kind." Kind. Such a small word for something so exhausting. I think about the children, what they will say about me when I'm not here. Will they remember the way I sang to myself while cooking? Will they remember that I always waited until they were asleep to cry? Or will they just remember that I worried too much, that I called too often? I hope they remember I loved them quietly, without demanding they become something for me. That night I opened a drawer I don't open often. Inside were letters I never sent. Not dramatic letters, simple ones. Apologies, thank yous, explanations I didn't know how to give out loud. I read one of them. It was to him. It said, "If anyone asks who I was, tell them I tried." I folded it carefully and put it back, because trying isn't something you finish. It's something you do until you can't anymore. I told him I don't need to be remembered by many, just clearly by a few. I don't need my life to look impressive. I needed to have been gentle. If there's anything I want to leave behind, it's permission. Permission to be soft. Permission to stay. Permission to love without being loud. I sat quietly after that, not sad, just full. If my voice disappears one day, I hope it echoes in small ways, in patience, in kindness, in someone choosing to stay one more moment. That would be enough, because a life is not measured by how much noise it makes, but by how deeply it touches the quiet. There are nights when I don't feel the ache anymore. It used to frighten me. I thought pain was proof that love was still alive. But I'm learning that peace can be proof too. That night, I sat the way I always do, lamp on, curtain half open, his photograph watching quietly. I didn't rush my words. I'm not angry anymore, I told him. Not at the world, not at time, not even at fate. I told him I forgive the years that took him early. I forgive my body for growing slower. I forgive myself for the days I wanted rest more than memory. The room felt lighter, as if something heavy had finally been put down. I realized something then. Talking to him was never about keeping him here. It was about learning how to stay myself without him. That scared me, because who am I when grief no longer speaks for me? I sat with that question, and for the first time I didn't feel lost. I felt ready, not to leave, just to stand without leaning so hard on the past. Before sleeping, I whispered, "If tomorrow is quiet, I'll be okay." And I meant it. But there is still one final conversation left, one thing I've never told him, and when I say it, I think everything will change. If you feel this story slowly settling into your heart, take a moment to like this video. Sometimes a quiet story needs quiet support. And stay with me, because the next part holds the hardest truth of all. I saved it for last because it's the most honest thing I've ever thought. Some nights, I don't just miss him. Some nights, I miss myself. The woman I was when love felt endless. The woman who believed there was always more time. That night, I looked at his photograph longer than usual, and I said it. I'm tired. Not tired of loving you, not tired of remembering. Tired of being strong without being asked. I told him there are mornings I wish I wouldn't wake up. Not because I want to die, but because waking up feels like work now. I waited after saying that. I didn't feel shame, only relief, because love should be the one place you're allowed to tell the truth. I expected fear. What I felt instead was understanding, as if something inside me said, it's okay to rest without disappearing. I understood then, wanting rest is not the same as wanting to leave. And when my breathing slowed, I felt something new, gratitude for every ordinary day, every quiet night, every conversation that didn't need an answer. I smiled because I realized I had already survived the worst night of my life. Everything after that was grace. But there is still one final night ahead. One night I think about often, and when it comes, I want to be ready. If this part touched something tender inside you, leave a comment. You don't have to explain. Even one word is enough. And stay close. The final part is coming. I imagine it sometimes, not in fear, in detail. The last night, the lamp will be on, the room will be quiet. I will sit up just like always, but my voice may not come easily. That's okay, because I've said everything that matters. I imagine speaking to him one last time, not with longing, with completion. I'm not afraid, I'll tell him. I learned how to stay without you. I learned how to be gentle with myself. I kept my promises. I imagine lying down and not needing to reach for the other side, because love will already be there.